Hello again, everyone. This is Nabeel Naqvi of Naqvi Law Professional Corporation. And today I'm here to talk to you guys about virtually signing your will. So last week, if you remember, we spoke about holograph wills, which are different in that it's a handwritten will that you can sign without any witnesses, usually used in emergency or dire situations. Today, what we're talking about is different. This is when you have your will, your lawyer has made a will for you based on your wishes and instructions. And for whatever reason, you can't meet face to face with that lawyer to sign. What are your other options? Well, there are a few other options, and we're here to talk about that today. So I put together a presentation, which I will share with you. And it's called Virtual Will Signing and Execution. And these are best practices. So, like I said, there's more than one way to do this. And you can do a combination of these methods to reach the desired goal, which is getting a validly executed will that will stand up in case it is challenged or scrutinized in the future. So just some background. The government passed the Emergency Management and Civil Protection Act. This legislation was passed on April 7th, 2020, and it confirms that lawyers can now sign and witness documents or be in the presence of clients by audio-visual communication technology. So now that's different than e-signatures. So this is not an e-signature setup. We do still require wet signatures, as they call it, not digital. And all the signatures need to be on this document. You cannot be signing in counterparts. Okay. Another thing this act stipulates is that it's not retroactive. So meaning if you were doing this before April 7th, then there's a very good chance that that execution was not valid. And so this legislation now allows us to do this virtually. One of the requirements is that one of the witnesses must be a licensee of the Law Society of Ontario, so a lawyer or a paralegal. And so that's the background of what the Law Society, well, I should say the government in conjunction with lawyers has come to an agreement where they can allow these type of executions to take place. So how do we do that? Let's go through it step by step. Before that, just a quick little legend so that we're not getting confused with the different letters and symbols that we're using. So T will refer to testator, the will maker, the person who's actually making the will. Okay. W1 is witness 1, and W2 is witness 2, because you need two witnesses who are not related to the testator or are not a beneficiary or a spouse of a beneficiary. Okay. And as mentioned before, one of the witnesses must be a licensee, licensed under the Law Society of Ontario. So step 1. This is what I'm calling the first video session, because it actually ends up being, practically speaking, 2 to 3 different video sessions to get the desired effect here. So the testator signs the will with witness 1 and witness 2 watching. Okay, so you're having a Zoom type meeting like this set up, and presumably one of the witnesses is a lawyer in their office witnessing the signature. So, they will be holding up a piece of paper, the will, and I don't know if you can see it there because of my background. And then, then the lawyer will watch the person sign, and then they'll again hold it up and to show the lawyer that they've signed. Okay, so this is with everybody watching. Witness 1, the lawyer is watching. Witness 2, maybe someone else in the lawyer's office watching, or somebody somewhere else in another office or house, which is why I mentioned that there might be 2 or 3 separate videos. So that's step 1, okay? So the testator, the person who's making the will, has now signed it, okay, in the presence of these witnesses watching them. Step 2, so now that will has been signed, it needs to be sent. The physical will with the wet signature needs to be sent by courier or whatever the case may be to witness one. Okay. The will signed by the testator in the presence of witness one and witness two must be couriered to witness one. And at that point, a second video session will begin. Okay, so you set up another Zoom meeting like this. Okay, we'll send you an invite and you come online. Again, witness one, witness two, and the testator, all three must be present again for the second video session. And the witness one, witness two, and the testator are witnessing witness one now subscribing to the will in the presence of the testator. So now everybody is seeing that the witness is signing, okay, and holding that up. And as you can see at the bottom here, on every slide, I've mentioned that we highly, highly recommend that you record these videos, okay? Because it's one thing to witness it electronically, but it's another thing to have a copy of it that can be pulled up in the future if something like this is challenged in a court or otherwise. Okay, so that's step two. And I'm sure you can guess what step three is. That will is then couriered, okay, physical copy with the wet signature to witness two for potentially a third video session. Witness two signs in front of, again, the testator and witness one. And you now have three wet signatures and a validly executed will. Okay, so just a couple of things to note there, that everybody needs to kind of be present and witnessing the signatures. And we also highly recommend, this is not usually required, but to also initial each page. So the testator, the witness one, witness two, all three of you should also be initialing each page and again showing that page to the lawyer that you've witnessed it. Okay, and yeah, that's basically the gist of it. Okay, now again, like I said, every lawyer might have a different way of doing it, but that's what you can expect, just so you can familiarize yourself with the process and be a little bit more comfortable if you do have to sign a will like this. Step four, this is more of a technical, a legal point, but it is very necessary. You need the affidavit of execution. And in this COVID-19 coronavirus outbreak world, you will need actually two of these things. Usually it's just one. So you need two. One from the lawyer, presumably, who was a witness, stating that that they are a person who's a licensee of the Law Society of Ontario. They were present when the testator signed the will by audio video technology, and also that the second witness was also present when the testator signed. Okay, so that's your first affidavit. And the second one would be from the second witness saying that they were also present when they witnessed the will, and the testator was there. Everybody was there. Okay, so that brings us to an end. Just a short video on what to expect. If you have any questions, you can contact myself or Osman Qureshi, the other lawyer at our law firm, any of the contact details there. And otherwise, be safe. And once again, thank you to all the frontline staff support workers out there who are putting their jobs on the line so that we can be safe. Thank you, and have a great day.